Welcome back to the Let's Thrive podcast. I'm Bri.
And I'm Abby.
And today we're going to be talking about hormones and birth control. So, to start off, go ahead.
Another spicy topic.
Yeah.
Another, not controversial. We're just talking about
just the ins and outs of our experience and what we kind of think about it, and maybe this will help you decide whether you should be on it or not. So we're going to dive in and give you a little insight on our personal stories with birth control. So for me personally, I got on it when I was 17 and I got on the pill. I don't remember the name or the branding or whatever, so it was just, the oral pill, and I got on it because I had irregular periods, quote unquote, from the OB, and it was supposed to help me menstruate normally, or fake menstruate, whatever it does inside of me. And it did, but with that came a lot of anxiety, some weird waves of depression, I guess. I don't know. I'm a joyful person, but at that time it was horrible. And just roller coasters of emotions and weight gain and just fluctuations. So that was my story with it. Just on it.
How old were you, did you say, when you got on it?
17, and then I got off last year, last summer. So
was that 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. Kind of wild. But yeah, and getting off of it was probably the best thing that I've ever done for myself. And looking back on it, I honestly don't or never needed to be on it, because getting off of it for the past 12 months, because it's been 12 months as of this month of being off of it, I have had a very regular cycle, like within every month on the same day, like so regular. And it just goes to show that there's probably nothing going on inside of me.
And you don't have a child.
Yeah, and I don't have a kid.
So there's hope. Okay, is that all about your story? Did you miss anything?
No, just long time.
Got you. So I went on, I think I was 17 or 18. I think I went on 2 different times. I'm trying to remember the story here. So junior year of high school, I went on it I was at the dermatologist, had a little bit of acne going on, and obviously they're going to prescribe that for hormonal acne, which is so weird to me that dermatologists prescribe birth control without even teaching you anything about the side effects of it. So I went on for that, and it was around before prom time too, and I remember hearing girls saying oh, you can skip your period on prom with the pill pack, with missing it, which is so bad for you.
I did that a couple times.
So anyway, went on it for a couple stupid reasons, and then I stayed on it for actual birth control measures in senior year. And then I was on it. I was on a new one actually, because I tried 2 different ones. The first one didn't make me feel too good. Second one I was on, and I remember it was senior year. I was about to graduate high school. I was so excited. It was summer, graduation parties, so many happy things going on. And I remember I just felt literally depressed, nothing in my future, bleak, depressed, didn't have any interest in Pat or in doing anything, nothing. It was awful, and he didn't understand, and I would just crying. I remember just crying on his couch, I don't know, this isn't me. It literally is not me. I was fine. And I went to my primary care at the time and told her what was going on, and she's like, let's take you off the birth control for 2 weeks and see how you feel. 2 weeks later, I'm back to Abby. What on earth did that do to me? So she was like, okay, let's try a different one. So I think that was when I went on the second one. I'm trying to remember this timeline, try to block this time out of my life.
Yeah.
So I went on a different one because they told me, oh yeah, if the first one made you depressed, just try this one. Still made me depressed. So that really just didn't help our mental health.
Oh no.
The pill.
Oh my gosh.
So that's when in college I still wanted to have a birth control of some sort. So they were like, oh yeah, try the IUD. So I was on the Kyleena IUD. That was a brutal experience getting it in, but it is supposed to be a lower dose hormone, and it's not systemic like the pill. You have the pill, it goes everywhere. It goes through all your blood, everywhere, versus the IUD is like in your uterus. So it's localized. So it's disgusting, but it's localized, and you're not supposed to have as many of those emotional side effects, which is why I went on that one. I did fine for that. I was on that one for 5 years, and then I just recently got off of it a few weeks ago. Yeah. So that's kind of my story with that. But I hear a lot of girls with the same stories of just like their mental health just tanking on birth control. And you think it's just you think it's just life. A lot of times the doctors don't put the pieces together of, oh, the birth control, like, thank God mine said the pill, like, get off of it. Because I had no idea it could cause any of those symptoms.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember, like, I don't know. I've always been, like, a bubbly, very joyful, happy person. But there would be times where I would cry for, like, no reason.
That's the thing. It makes you cry, like, all the time.
Yeah, I was anxious over so many things. And I'd never had anxiety prior. Like I said, like, I'd always just been, like, a go-getter. And, like, moving to college was, like, the worst transition of my life. Like, I would call my parents sobbing, saying that I had no friends, I was depressed, like, I didn't know what to do. And, like, I had James there with me, but he was, like, not understanding what was going on emotionally with me. And, like, I mean, I don't blame him. Like, he doesn't have that hormonal cycle that we do, and he wasn't getting or intaking these pills that was making me feel this way. And for the longest time, I thought it was normal, and it was anything but, because getting off of it, like, I don't remember the last time I actually cried. Like, I haven't cried. I don't have anxiety. Like, I'm not anxious. I'm not overwhelmed. Like, I'm who I remember being prior to the pill. So the pill scarred me. I will never allow my daughters to take hormonal birth control. I would rather, teach her body and protective ways that don't require her messing with her hormones at such a young age.
Yeah, and we can get into, like, more of the side effects of birth control, because not only does it do things to your mental health, but you're literally getting an exogenous hormone, which means a hormone that's not made in your body, into your body. So you could think of it like a steroid. Like, you see a bodybuilder taking steroids of these hormones that, like, testosterone or something, and that's, like, really kind of a similar thing. Yeah. So I've actually heard that some doctors now are prescribing for women some testosterone with all of the estrogen they're getting to balance things out, because your testosterone can get really low when you're on birth control, and you get lots of bad side effects when all of these hormones are out of whack. So it's pretty crazy that it's so, like, they just give it to you like candy, yet it has so many side effects, and it's literally a hormone being put into your body, affecting every system of your body, between your mental health, your gut health, and digestion, everything in between.
Yeah, no, it's actually wild to think about it, because, like, the first thing a doctor will tell you if you go in saying that you have painful periods, or if that your period lasted a little bit longer this time, or maybe you didn't get it this month, or any abnormality concerning, like, your health to to something that's not super extreme, they're probably most likely going to provide you with a prescription for some sort of birth control, thinking that's going to balance it out, rather than actually teaching you holistic, healthy ways on how to balance your hormones with food, with exercise, with sleep, with recovery.
They don't make money if they do that, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're going to push you to take the pill, and most of the times we often say yes because it's a quick and easy fix, when in reality nothing gets fixed. It's just a Band-Aid over the problem. You take off the Band-Aid, you still got problems. So it's like...
Exactly. So that's really what it is it's a Band-Aid. There's a root cause in there going on, and it might take some time and some research to kind of figure it out. I do recommend reading Beyond the Pill. That's a great one. It gives you lots of tangible tips, and a new one I got is called Hormonal Harmony, and that's also a really great one to get to the root cause of these things and actually be an advocate for yourself. Like, get blood work, see where your blood levels are at, especially if you're on birth control or if you're not on it. That's going to be really important either way. But a lot of it is they're just putting a Band-Aid on the problem, and then when you do get off birth control, if you do get off of it someday, because maybe you get like us and you get, like, some mental health things going on and you want to get off of it, or maybe you want to have kids and you want to get off of it, But that's another thing, is it can mess up your fertility as well. I don't think a lot of women realize that. I don't know if you've seen, but I've seen so many women on social media with miscarriages, with infertility, like trying to conceive, and they can't.
Pill-induced PCOS.
That PCOS is like at the highest it's ever been. Lots of other things. Crohn's disease, like all of these autoimmune things are also really showing up in the research as connected to hormonal birth control, which is insane. Gut issues, digestion, leaky gut, like it's absolute insanity. If you ever just open up a new pack of birth control, take a look at the side effect list, open it up. It's going to be like
as big as our table.
It's going to be as tall as me and a few feet wide.
And the words are going to be like nine little.
It's like, so tiny.
Like 12 font, 9 font. So small.
Yeah, but what do they tell you? They say, oh, this is magical. It's just going to fix whatever problem you're experiencing.
Liar.
So it's a little unfortunate that they don't educate enough about that, because when I went on it, I didn't know any of this would happen. I probably would have reconsidered it, because it wasn't like a super pressing issue for me with like acne. Like I could have figured it out. I could have got a topical cream or something that was like not going to harm me internally. Could
have cleaned up my skincare routine a little bit if I needed to. Like I could have started eating better foods at such a young age. That could have probably benefited my skin. That could have probably benefited my energy levels. Not probably, they would have. But
we should touch on that a little bit. Is just like a few like tangible things that you can do to like make yourself happy hormonally, like make your body happy hormonally, because you just made an awesome guide on the whole menstrual cycle,
training with your cycle, eating with your cycle, eating with PCOS, training with PCOS, that type of stuff. It's like a 30+ page guide with tons of research.
So go download that. Go on Bri's Instagram, Fit Life with Bri.
Yes.
Go on her bio and download the guide.
Yeah, I'll never take it out of there. So it'll always be in there. It's really in-depth, really good, and I think it's super helpful and insightful, because it's a lot of what what the medical system and doctors don't share with you on how to do it holistically healthy without additional synthetic hormones.
What would you say are like 3 tangible tips like someone can just take away just to apply like to their life, to like, you know, regulate their period and just like work on things hormonally? Just a few tips.
Yeah, I would say sleep is going to be a huge one, because sleep is going to be optimizing your recovery, and your body functions a lot and does a lot when you're sleeping, even though you don't really realize it. So sleep is going to be a big thing. And then managing your stress, trying to figure out ways to limit stress. So let's just say you have like a really crazy work schedule, you never have downtime, and your stress is through the roof. You're probably always walking on eggshells and you just feel worked up 24/7. Find and set aside 20 minutes at minimum a day to put you first. Kind of like calm down, decrease any like cortisol levels that are spiked up super high in you, because that will impact your hormones so much. I remember one time I was stressed and I was just like so overwhelmed and worked up, and my period was supposed to come that day and it didn't. So I had to like set my time aside, like de-stress.
And that just reminds me of like if you like travel somewhere for like a week or so and then you come back and like your period is off, like that's why that happens, is because stress from like maybe flying or driving and just eating different foods and having poor sleep quality. Like that's a very real example of why that happens and why what Bri's saying is so important.
Yeah, like recently, I was supposed to start like within this past month, like on a Monday, and I didn't. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So then I made sure that I was just eating whole foods, drinking enough water, getting active. I stretched, and then I went to bed early and let my body just rest. And then the next morning, she came, and I was like, well, there you go. She was just waiting for me to chill out. And really, that's one of the big things. So sleep, managing your stress, and then quality of foods. Enhance your quality of foods. Like spend the extra dollar, go the extra mile, eat fruits, eat veggies. Like you don't need to have salads every meal, or you don't need to have chicken, broccoli, and rice. Like make it fun, make it colorful, make it good and sweet or savory, however you like it. But yeah, definitely my top 3 would be sleep, manage your stress, enhance your food quality.
Yeah, I think that's fire. And I think it just If you just look at it like, why do you get a period? It's because your body by nature is getting ready to have a child, and you can only do that if you're healthy. So if you're not prioritizing your sleep, your food quality, your stress, your body's not even going to be in the position to do that. That's why you lose your period a lot of the time in bikini prep, or if you are just restrictive dieting. A lot of women lose their period that way because you're not feeding yourself enough. You're not nourishing yourself. Your body can't sustain another human life. So so important to keep yourself healthy, even if you're not trying to have a kid, just to have those healthy cycles that you need to have, those regular cycles.
Oh yeah. And even if you are trying to conceive and you know that your nutrition is not in a good spot, you know you're not taking care of yourself internally and externally, then most likely it will be a little bit harder for you to achieve that conception. Just because your body's like, okay, well, like, yes, we can do it. We can physically work on making this happen. But if anything is unaligned on the inside of you, it's not going to be as smooth of a process as if you were eating the right things, taking care of your body the way that it needs to. So whether you're trying to conceive or not, prioritizing your health should be a non-negotiable, no matter what that looks like for you.
100%. And anything else before we touch on like where we're at now with things?
No, I would just say if you're not tracking your cycle, get a calendar, use Google Calendar.
Everybody should be tracking it.
I use the Flow app. I know Abby uses Natural Cycles, like whatever app or whatever way that you can, just track it. Be in tune with your body, understand what's going on.
And it can be harder to be in tune with your body when you're on those other measures, whether it's the IUD or the implant or the pill, whatever those are. It's still good to track it because you might not be as in tune with everything, and things may or may not be regular. So Natural Cycles app is really cool. So I just started using that after I got my IUD out because I'm doing a non-hormonal method now. So I have the Aura ring. My mom thought the Aura ring was something that was inserted into my uterus. It sounds like it. No. The Aura ring, if you're watching on YouTube, is this little ring. It goes on my finger. It has sensors in it. It takes my temperature. It does lots of things to track like my sleep, stress, everything. It syncs up with the Natural Cycles app, and you can see your fertility status. So I can try to show you guys for the YouTube people here. So it's syncing from this morning. You probably cannot see that at all. 96.64 was my temp this morning. I didn't have to physically take it because your temperature tells you when you're ovulating. Okay, today it's telling me use protection today. Good to know. Because I just finished my cycle. So there's only certain days in your cycle where you are really fertile, and then the other days it's pretty much impossible. So I don't think people realize that, and you don't know that unless you're tracking. So it shows you your red days, your green days, different things in there. And that's really cool because typically if you're doing a non-hormonal method, you'd have to physically take out like a thermometer, and you can do your basal temperature, and trying to remember to do that like morning and evening is a lot. So that's why I like this. You can also try like LH strips, can tell when you're ovulating. If you are not on anything, that can tell when you're ovulating, because when you are on birth control, you're not ovulating when you're on the pill, FYI. So do not even bother using those if you're on the pill. But that's just kind of what we're doing now.
Going with the flow, making sure that we're eating
going with the flow.
Get it? Flow. No, just making sure that we're eating nutritious foods, taking care of our body from the inside out, and just, I don't know, being genuinely healthy. Feels good.
Heck yeah. So yeah, we're going to wrap up this episode because I can see everything is dying between my camera and my computer. But that was fire. We want you to advocate for yourselves and want you to just learn. We're not telling you what to do. We want you to take the information we're giving you and apply it to your life however it fits, and read those books. Educate yourself, because that's the best thing you can do, is educate yourself about your health so you can actually advocate for yourself.
Yep. Knowledge is power. Never forget it.
Heck yeah. But thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.